Hey, it's Benz from LaunchFlows.com. One of our fans over in the Facebook group, Jose, had asked a few questions about how you can use the instant registration. I supplied a few of our videos in the new documentation, but I also wanted to fill in a few of the blanks. First of all, the main point of the instant registration page is for us to allow somebody to begin a sales funnel. Typically, this is when they're registering for a free course or when we're going to sell them, let's say, a tripwire product or even a full-blown product after they've registered and logged in. And again, this is different than what you would normally do if you add them to your email list or to your CRM, because in those cases, the person doesn't necessarily have to be registered and logged in as a user of WordPress, in this case through WooCommerce. But here we do want them to do that because by having them registered and logged in, we can track their behavior, offer them the next step, and also accomplish the task, like I'll show you, of even selling them access to a free course with LearnDash or Lifter. So in order to set this up and also to modify it without having to do any custom templates is really easy. We need a product that is a free product. Here I've created it in WooCommerce called the Instant Registration Product, and there's just a few parameters. First of all, like all LaunchFlows, you can choose any product type you wish. That is quite different than some of the other plugins on the market that do sales funnels. Here we're using the main ordinary product of WooCommerce and bending it to our will. If I wanted to, by using course, I can make this free registration accomplish the dual purpose of also giving access to a LearnDash course. So here, for example, I can associate this product being purchased for free with the free sample course. That would automatically enroll somebody in that course. I accomplish this by using the free plugin, the WooCommerce for LearnDash plugin. Now you can do the same thing with Lifter, or you can do the same thing as I've shown you before by using the tag method with WP Fusion. Again, another example of how flexible LaunchFlows is because we don't make you create a custom flow and a custom step and limit you to which kinds of products and make it complicated. Instead, just set the product up the way you want. So it's important to make the product a zero-price product. That's what triggers the instant registration aspect of it. Next, in LaunchFlows, you choose the checkout page you want for this product to be thrown to. Now, the neat thing is that it really doesn't matter whether you choose a custom one or you use the default one. Just the fact that you're going to have this product with instant registration checked below is enough to override the default settings of any checkout. That's why it's also important, in my advice, to use the solo checkout option. This ensures that this special registration product will not exist in a cart with some other product where you might otherwise need to see the normal checkout fields. This is a good way to ensure that this is the only thing they're going to see at the time, and if they do want to add something else, they'll be able to bump it out of the cart just by adding the other product. Finally, there was a couple questions about what does this instant sales page do? What the instant sales page does is it sort of does the same thing like the instant registration for the checkout, but it does it to the product page itself. If I don't have this checked and I update the page, when we look at the normal WooCommerce product page itself, it's suitable for adding something to the cart, but it's not necessarily so great for using as a launching pad to get somebody to choose it. Let me show you what I mean. I've modified LaunchFlow's default setting to change the button from add to cart to get it now. And I've done that by going into LaunchFlows in the default setting options. And there's one that allows me to change all add to cart buttons to say what I want, like get it now. Nevertheless, you can see that there's still a whole bunch of junk here. The categories, the related products, and if you have, even upsells. But not the good kind of upsells, the sort of WooCommerce upsells. So I want to clean all of that up. And it's really simple without having to use a custom template, just by choosing Instant Sales Page. That is what that feature does. When I choose that, and I look at the page now for the product itself, we'll see that it looks really clean and simple, even though I've not yet engaged with Elementor or Gutenberg or any other custom page builder. This means that now you could offer this as, let's say, a way to get somebody to say yes to the instant registration to a free course or instant registration to something other sales funnel. It's clean, simple, and no customizing required. If you chose to use Elementor, that's great. If you chose to use Gutenberg, That's great too, but man, is this simple, right? Picks up the look and feel of your theme. When you click Get It Now, it will take me to the instant registration. Now, Jose had asked, how can I customize the registration further without doing a custom template as well? Again, very simple with LaunchFlows. Let's just look at this page that I had used for the checkout. You'll notice that there's nothing here other than just the image at the top. Let's take that out for a second. Out of the box, the instant registration will make something that looks like this at the checkout. It will only have the minimal fields. Now I'll show you in a second how I arrange these in a different order, putting email address at the top. But there's really not much to configure to make this happen so that you get a very elegant, very fast, and really high converting onboarding. First of all, when I made the checkout page, I chose the LaunchFlows full width template, so I would show the header and the footer. If I didn't want to show the header and footer, I could choose LaunchFlows Canvas. Next is I took advantage, or I can, of the checkout button and changed the registration button from place order to register now. And that's all there is to the actual core setup. If we look at what it has changed to, we can see that I've got register now, email, first and last name. Now, you might actually see the phone number and you might see those in a different order. So in order to modify that, I'm using a free plugin called the WooCommerce Checkout Field Editor, or it's sometimes called the Checkout Field Manager. That provides me with this option here, which allows me to take all of the other default billing fields and remove them. Let's reset this for a second and show you. All you need to do is use the bulk selector and then unselect first name, last name, and email. I removed everything else from the billing fields because I don't need them for digital products. And if there is a need for shipping, I'll use the shipping fields instead, which allow me to do all the normal address stuff. Next is in the billing fields themselves, I went ahead and dragged the billing email to the top because that's the first thing I want to get from anybody no matter what. And then I click Save Changes. And that's all there is to that. Now my checkout has the email at the top and only the first and last name. Now, per Jose's question, how do I add an image? Well, it's easy. Even without modifying this with Elementor, all I need to do is just use the default Gutenberg or Classic editor to add an image. Here I happen to choose something that was a logo, and let's choose from images. Filter out some of these. I can put anything I want, center it, scale it, do the normal shenanigans. Here I just chose the logo file, inserted it, and then I clicked on it and said center it. And of course, if I wanted, I could scale it and do other stuff. I click Update, and that's all there is to that. Anything you add to the Gutenberg or the Classic editor will show above the rest of the fields, giving you a super simple way to customize this. You could take it one step further if you wanted and even add some words. Not that you need to, but in this case, if you wanted and you knew that this was a dedicated checkout, you could add something here like register now, it's free. And what I do in the regular editor here is maybe make this heading 2, center it the same way, update, and when we look at it, it looks as simple as that. Now, if you want to go farther, just edit with Elementor, and you can do all the drag and drop layout. But what's neat about this is there's really nothing more than just setting the button, putting in something at the top or not, and you're good to go. And in this way, you can really quickly get somebody in to the next step. And I'll end this video by showing you what I mean. The best thing about LaunchFlows is that when you create a product, it has all the DNA it needs to know where to go to check out, but also where to go next. So in this case, you have an option that you could set up for this registration product. Where does somebody get taken after they check out for free, register, and log in? And in most cases, I would take them to the My Account page, but you could also take them to a custom thank you. Either way, you would use the Select Thank You page option. As I mentioned, I like to take people to the My Account page, so I just type My Account. It will search out which page I've got for that, and I'm good to go. If you were registering for the course, you might take them to the course, the free course. So I can search through my courses and pick out which course it is that I'm sending them to. All right. If I wanted, I could take them to a custom thank you page, or even better, I could take them to an upsell step. Remember, this is the next thing in line. Maybe I want to make them an upsell offer. Even neater, and that's the last one I promise, I could take them to a course, start the course, and in the second lesson, I could offer them an upsell. So let me show you how that works. Let's say I'm using LearnDash. I like Lifter and LearnDash, but if I'm using LearnDash, I could go into LearnDash here, and I've got a free course or whatever, and let's say I've got some lessons. And here I'm just working on this lesson 2. So they've started the free course, they get into the second lesson, and I want to offer them an upsell to my paid course. All I need to do with LaunchFlows is either use the widgets of Elementor, use Gutenberg, or use the simple shortcode that's available, LF upsell, and then the product ID. And in this case, I'm just using a placeholder product. But what they get is something that looks like this. They get to the middle of the lesson, and here's their opportunity. Yes, I want it. No, I don't. Now, the neat thing about this is that just like before, when you set up this product, and obviously I wouldn't use the same registration product, set up this product so that the next step is either they go to the checkout and then can come back as the thank you page to the follow-up lesson, or if they say no thanks, it's fine. Just takes them to the next lesson. Let me say that again. If they say yes, it takes them to the checkout. When the checkout is done, it takes them back to maybe the next lesson, the lesson number 3. If they say no thanks, it takes them on just to lesson number 3. So the idea is in the going from lesson 2 being given an upsell offer and then going on, you can get them back to finish the course, the free course they were at, without them feeling any kind of pain or being lost. It keeps them in the flow, even though I'm able to do this amazing thing. And remember, this all started with an instant registration, because getting them in allows me to give them access to either the free content or to the free course, allows me to make other things happen either directly or even delayed a little bit once they've started it. All of that is part of the simplicity of selling people things when they are actually in the frame of mind to understand it, appreciate it, and respond to it well, versus the old-fashioned way of trying to blast them with emails and so forth. Hopefully this has helped to open up your eyes, giving you some new possibilities, and making fun and full use of LaunchFlows. I'll see you guys on the next video.